Labyrinth is back, and just like the last time, it is more about the farming for currency in the shop than just completing it. And this time around you have a full costume for Mael. If you have not seen how it looks like, I'll just show it real quick. Most of you might have already seen maybe on Twitter or for my other video. It looks pretty good and it's full UR. So if you have Mael, this is a great Labyrinth for Mael in general. Because as you might see from my farm team here, Goddesses is probably the best team for farming. If you have Mael, you're in good luck because he is probably the best team when it comes to farming the post-Labyrinth stages here. And yeah, there's no second place really. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's just Mael has a really good single target that procs turn 1. But when it comes down to farming this, it is by far and away the best. So if you can make a Mael team, go for that. But if not, let's talk about some other options. To start, I recommend getting Gilfunder. You're going to have 3 options: Blue Gilfunder, Red Hauser, or Green Grimoire. As you can see, these 4 are the previous characters you saw me use. Whenever you clear the Labyrinth, if you restart from the beginning because maybe you want a different team to actually farm the post stages, you can actually pick one of the characters. So if you get, like, for example, Purgatory Meliodas, you can start from the beginning of Purgatory Meliodas and maybe get better rules and stuff like that. Again, the character to aim towards, I think, for everyone that has him is Mael, probably the best one. If not, then Purgatory Meliodas Demon Team is probably the second best. And I'll be very honest, I've done this multiple times. I restarted Labyrinth multiple times, at the very least 10 times, trying to get Escanor. And I could not find a single Escanor in this Labyrinth. I don't know if he's, like, out of the pool. If someone does end up finding him, let me know in the comments. I have not found a single one. If you see a comment saying, yeah, I've got Escanor, he's in, like, the 3rd floor, then maybe go for humans, but I think Goddesses is your best bet. So pick Gilfunder because he's probably the best. And I can't just not pick this. If you clear once and you restart to get, like, these bonus things, my also advice would be to go for rules that will give you more damage. Don't be defensive. When it comes to farming the post third boss stages, you want to be fast because you're going to be farming them multiple times to be able to clear the shop. These are the rules I actually really liked. So obviously this is just increased attack for Goddesses. If you're going to go with Purgatory Meliodas because that's what you have, go for the demon one. This is lower enemy crit resistance and crit defense. And you can see I have 2 of them. Increase attack. Increase attack for Goddesses 100%. You want to be increasing your damage. Not your HP, not your defense, not your crit resistance. You want to be raising your attack, crit damage, whatever, crit chance. Maximize your damage because that's the best way to go. Now let's talk about the board. In general, there's no wrong way of going about it. I would just simply suggest that you stick to the corners because that's where the shops are. And as you will see from the 2nd floor when I move up, these shops are mostly how you get characters. Because as you can see, you can pick 1 extra character here and there's no extra character for the whole 1st floor. So what ends up happening is, let's say I go left or right, it doesn't really matter. I will get the random passive, I'll level up, get a character, you know, again, ultimate level, this level up is only 3, so I'll recommend the ultimate level. Then I won't have enough money to do much in here, and there's no character. But in the 2nd one, there is a character randomized, so that's what I'd recommend. Go for that character, and then you can face the 1st boss with 3. The 1st boss is Blue Ellihawk, and honestly, the best way to win against her is just to have a green unit. Unfortunately, as luck would have it, I did not get one. So my red Lizhawk will die. I did pick Mael just to make it faster for me to go through these when I'm recording, or off recording really. In terms of the passives really, nothing she does is anything crazy. You just don't want to debuff her because if you debuff her, she does more damage to you. That's it. So yeah, you can't go first by the way. You just cannot. I've tried like really hard to make a team that can go first. You can't. So you know. But other than that, this boss, it doesn't have any complicated mechanics. Unlike the final boss, the Taxio Gaffer, which is a pain in the ass. And I'll already tell you right now, that boss is the one to look out for. And what you're going to need is a cleanser. That's it. If you have Purgatory Melee, that can work as your cleanser. But if not, Margaret is like the best bet, or a different kind of cleanser. This is how the second board looks like. As you can see, you actually have quite a bit of choices here for extra characters. If you just pick left or right, you can just go in and just get 2 characters. Then there's a store, and there's another store right here. Or a passive, you know. You can get a passive right here, and then or here, or a store. So I haven't talked about this yet because, you know, it only really was relevant for a boss. But like I mentioned, for the first boss, you want a green unit. And the reason for that is, for this entire labyrinth, the biggest focus is type advantage. So right here, type advantage is an extra 30% damage. So I think this is also applied to the enemies. If the enemies have type advantage against you, they also do 30%. What you essentially want is to have type advantage over the enemy. That's it. And I don't know if that's how it's going to be from now on with Labyrinth, if that's what they're going to go for. But I don't know if it works like this, but Light and Dark seem to have type advantage. I don't know, Meliodas and Mael hit super hard. So maybe pick one of those Dark or Light characters. If you find Ascanor somehow, then use him. He's probably the best thing possible. The second boss is green, and it's base Merlin. Again, the biggest thing you want is a red unit. Like I said, type advantage is key. But other than that, what does she do? She freezes you, which can be kind of annoying if she ends up freezing the character you actually want to use. And she seals buff and debuff cards, or just buff cards. I have not ever died to this Merlin. I have died to the Liz. And I have died to the final boss. But I've never died to this Merlin. It has never become like a challenge. Really, she can hit pretty hard in the ultimate, but if you have an ult removal character, like right now I don't really have one, but technically I do, because I have this Liz Hawk that does do that. As you can see, I did so... She didn't have any level 2 cards for me to... Did you see how much damage I did though? Just because my Liz is red. She does so much damage, so... That is, like I said, the key. Oh, I wanted to attack with Tarmiel to show his damage, because he's red. Like, again, type advantage is crazy. And by order of elimination, you know, the final boss is actually red. So having a blue DPS will be your best bet when it comes to that. There are many options, like, you know, blue the one. So pick your poison for that one. But just keep in mind, after you kill that boss is when the real game mode starts, which is farming the post. So you want to have a character that's actually very, very, very strong, so you can actually take those stages and just one-turn them. Like Mael, Purgatory Melee, or if you find him, the Ascanor Ultimate. And now to the technical final boss. The biggest hurdle of this is just he infinitely attacks you. So my biggest advice is bring a cleanser. That's about it. Or characters that have debuff cards, because that's not really being affected by attack seals. And that's really it. Other than that, there's not much. It doesn't hit you particularly hard, unless you're green, because he's red. And that's it. I mean, that's really it. If you have Purgatory Melee, you might be able to, in a way... Oh, he didn't even, like, damage my... Okay, well, Goddesses are OP. I didn't even get attack sealed because I have Summer Liz in the back. That's... I've never seen that happen, actually. But if you have, like, a Demon team with Purgatory Melee, you might be able to time it correctly, or you might get cucked by timing with your cleanse. But in general, he will be attack sealing you every single turn. Like I said, Mael is probably the best character in this whole, like, roster for this labyrinth. I don't know exactly why. He just hits super hard in this. I used Purgatory Melee in a run, and he didn't feel good. Mael feels much, much better. I think I'll keep this team. Yeah, I like it. The Margaret and Tarmiel for both. So this is where the grind really starts. And it's essentially you want to one-hit kill the bosses so that you kill them fast and then you restart and you kill them fast again. That's it. And that's why I recommended you go without any defensive passives and all offense, because you just want to wipe them as fast as possible with your strong character and strong passives. For me on this run in particular, I ended up getting 75% attack for goddesses, 10% general attack, lowering their crit resistance and crit defense by 10% per member. This is just twice I ended up getting this, 80% extra damage to debuff cards, and then Goddess HP was the last one. I didn't have like an option for offense, so that's kind of sucks because I'm probably not going to use this. But let me actually see this debuff increase, how much it actually affects. That is pretty good for a debuff card. Yeah, these guys are very tanky, so as you can see, even with my 75% increase and my 10% increase, I still didn't just like obliterate him or anything. I did a lot of damage. I did one turn him, but you definitely don't want to be taking more than one turn on these fights. And if you are taking more than one turn, restart. You know, if you restart from the beginning, you're gonna have one of your characters, like, you know, from the get-go. So if you ended with Margaret, that's a good one to start with. If you ended with, I don't know, Purgatory Melee, it's a great one to start with as well. Go from the beginning, get better damaging passives, and that's it. That's the whole thing. For the store, there's not much option other than the costume. Just buy, unlock the tier so you can buy the costume and buy the 10 gems. And that's about it. It's Labyrinth. I mean, there's not much difference from the other Labyrinth, except the other Labyrinth was much more fun. This one, there's not much to talk about with the passives. It had a whole gimmick where you were using all characters of the same race for these like stupid strong passives. This one, it definitely feels like if you don't have Mael and you don't have Purgatory Melee, you're kind of screwed for farming, because those are the two strong characters. Again, have never seen Escudo in this one, so I don't think it's even possible to get it. If you don't have them, you know, if you didn't have them, like if you didn't have Escanor or Melee, you could still farm the previous one, because the rules made you so strong that a character like, I don't know, thinking of like a strong unknown character that's single target, I can't think of a single one. You can see here there's still more. See, Blue the One, but not Ultimate Escanor. I've seen Blue the One so many times. You can't keep these for next runs, so there's not much importance here, but as you can see, there are shops in this last one, unlike the previous one, the previous Labyrinth, I say. If you didn't have Escanor, you could still farm decently fast. If you got like absurd passives, like, you know, 150% attack, and then you just stacked like 100 attack on top and 100 attack on top, your characters had so much attack it didn't even matter what character you're using, so long as you had those passives. But this time around, not so much. Let me know if you have, you know, other characters you found success with in farming. Again, as I have said, I've done many runs on this. Mel's by far the best, and the other ones kind of suck in comparison.